Hey everyone, welcome to the Friday night special.
Hello?
Yep.
Is anybody home?
Okay, let's see who we have here. Let's get back on comments.
Well, we got a couple clones in the room.
Yeah, we got Tibor here,
Yeah.
Gunslinger,
Treasure.
Ash's Treasure and Homesteading, and Garden,
And I see Mama Z,
and Michael 58,
Papa Truck.
Stringfield Ridge Farm,
Blue Hill.
Hey Teresa, and President Lee. Okay, so we're gonna give it a few minutes here and let everybody come in. Everybody say hi to each other, and then we're gonna jump on that red dragon and try to take some of your fears away and give you a little bit more information and let you understand what's going on with it.
Evening, Weber.
And how it compares to we got Rustic Traditions Homestead, McCoy's Oak Hill Farm.
When you're on a live stream, words become very difficult.
Yeah, just in time prepping.
Hey.
Got Will there. Okay, so we've got Dave and I have been working for the last several days getting all this data information. Dave's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
I try.
Yeah. So the big news isn't that we are not going to come out with that till probably about an hour into it. That should be about the time we get everything covered up that we want, not covered up, covered by the time we get to that point. And then we will bring up on some really interesting recent developments in the
Lori. Now, folks, we discussed it beforehand, but we decided we didn't want to scare you to death. When we go to release the most pertinent information, we were both going to don gas masks, and I was going to take and turn this up real deep and make you guys scared that we were really scared. But we decided not to do that.
Yeah, I had my my hazmat full face respirator, but nah, you couldn't hear me talking when I had it on. So we're just going to stick to the basics, and we're going to try to get rid of fear porn with knowledge. Okay. So we've got a lot of stuff, and all the stuff we're going to show you, we're going to throw the links to that data into the comments, so you guys can look it up yourself and verify what we're telling you is true. None of this, we're all going to die in 6 months with hideous pox and stuff, and those that don't die are going to turn into zombies. None of that crud.
Not to mention the bleeding noses, runny eyeballs, and pus coming out your ears. But yeah, we'll save that for another day.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Alrighty. So
we're glad you joined us, Laurie.
Yep. Okay. So basically, let me pull up the and if anybody's on a computer where they can do you have multiple monitors, you're welcome to throw this up onto the second monitor. Control C. Okay, and so here is all right, there's the first link of what I'm going to put up here now.
Bear Platten, welcome.
Okay, so what this here is I found this one here. Actually, let me go back for a second here and pull something else up over it.
I don't know where reverse is in this train you've got running, so I can't help you on that one.
Yeah. Okay, I just got to put this thing here. Make sure it goes in the right spot. Okay, and of course it likes going to the big screen first, so I'll just move it over to the small screen. Okay, Monday, I saw this on Facebook on a friend of mine's thing, popped it up there, and it was comparing some stuff. Then I go, that's kind of cool, but then I looked at the numbers are a little wrong, and so I looked it up, and then it had because it was actually 659 for the swine flu, and then the bird flu was 28. I figured out, heck with that, I'm going to go we're going to go just actually dig into the numbers and pull it up like we're going to do now. So that's where this came from, was from that little meme on Facebook. So basically, we're going to start off at the beginning of the century here with the 2002 to 2003 SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and talk about it a little bit. Basically, as it says there, it eventually affected 29 countries. All right, the death rate was about 9 to 12% of those who were diagnosed.
Good evening, She Move Mountains.
So for SARS, the death rate was the total ended up being about 774 from what they were able to document, who was what and who was where and everything. So with that, I went over and I looked up SARS to find out all I could about it, and I noticed something strange about it here. Let me do something here real quick. Well, let me do it here. I want to increase the.
Yes.
There we go. So basically, I'm looking at it here, and here it talks about cause, diagnosis, prevention, treatment, but it doesn't tell me anything about transmission. And so I went down cause, mucous membranes, respiratory droplets, or formalites, when you sneeze it out, oral, does not seem to be a routine mode of transmission. So they don't know exactly how SARS was really transmitted to everybody. So our scientists kind of, weren't able to diagnose and deduce how it was being transmitted. For prevention, though, they say, wash hands, disinfect surfaces. Exactly. Or
I'm going to give you a little note on that too, just a sec.
Or if you also prefer the wipes of it.
Right. I prefer the liquid for one major reason. I've spoken to a couple physicians lately. Mind you, I say that after spending probably the last 30 some odd hours in the last 4 days researching this stuff. They, most people, when they use hand sanitizer, they go like this. Oh, that's it. Just a bit. The doctors I've talked to said, no, your hands need to be wet, not just a little bit to cover it, that your hands need to be wet. And then don't dry them off on anything. Let them air dry. Okay. That way it actually kills it. Don't just put a little itty bit and call it good. You want to make sure your hands are wet with the sanitizer, not just damp. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. And McCoy Oak Hill Pharmacist, thank you for putting that up there. Everyone, please slap that thumbs up button. Give us, see if we can make it up. Right now we got 25 watching. Let's see if we can get 25 likes. Anyways, okay, so for prevention, it says wear a surgical mask, avoid contact with bodily fluids, wash personal items of someone with SARS, hot soapy water, eating utensils, dishes, bedding, etc. Keep children with symptoms at home from school, blah, blah. Okay, the general stuff we all know about. That's what SARS was covered on. All right. So let's go back to the other part here and go down through here a little bit. SARS set the stage for the 21st century debate on whether the answer to global pandemic should be the defensive sealing of borders or improvements in international coordination that facilitate better tracking and control of spread diseases. And they still haven't agreed. The debate is still going on. So in 2003 to 2007, and actually I found out this is still going on to 2020, the H5N1 or bird flu, as it's called, has been out. Now, this one is the one that is scary. Let me bring
Don't forget to say hello to the people who showed up.
Hey, everyone who just showed up. We got Gray Note, Manifestations.
Reed's here.
Yeah, Reed's here.
Will's here.
Kathy's here. Good, Kathy. Kathy's our being out there, just keeping a track on everybody there. Thank you, Kathy. So
yes, Kathy, that stuff is constantly changing.
Yes. Let me see if I can get this up a little bit bigger here. There we go. Okay. The cumulative numbers for human cases of the avian influenza bird flu reported to the World Health Organization. Now, this starts in 2003, goes all the way up to 2020. 2019, I mean, they were still having, we'll break it down a little bit more here in a second here. But this is what's scary and not scary.
Remind me, Grandma, and we'll discuss what you just brought up here in a little bit.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, as you can see down here, the grand total of deaths from 2003 to current is only 861. That doesn't sound too bad, does it, folks? Until you look at the next column. The number of that died were 455. That's approximately 60% of those who get infected with bird flu die. However, bird flu is very, very, very hard to transmit to people. That's why the number of cases is only for the last 17 years is only 861. Go down to the next page here on this.
All right, I'll just talk a little bit louder. That way my voice is louder.
Yeah. And so it goes here, it's broken up by years. And as you can see, in first year, 4 cases, 4 deaths. Next year, in 2004, 46, 32, 98, 43. So it keeps on going. It's a constant, almost even flow all the way through, and then it starts dropping off here after 2011.
Hello, Howie.
Yeah. So
hello, Big Dreams.
So the bird flu cases and deaths drops off up until last year. They had 1 case, 1 death, and that was in Nepal. All right, so let me go ahead and close that. So, bird flu was, and so basically, the World Health Organization says rate is about 60. Mortality rate is about 60% of those who contract it. So there's not much really to be concerned about it because it's so hard for it to transmit to humans. Now, almost all cases of H5N1 bird flu have been associated with close contact with infected, alive or dead birds that have the disease. I think it's just about been, quote, eradicated is what they have it called for the United States. So unless someone brings something in illegally or something, I think my personal thoughts here that we are pretty much safe from this one. But does it happen? Yeah. So it's the transmission is close proximity to the birds. So let's go back to this one here, and we kill that one off. Okay. So how we responded? With terror. Yeah, we were the people at the time. I mean, it was the most frightening thing. Hearing people, we're going to get bird flu. We're going to die. Almost everyone's dying that's getting it. And no. So we learned a lot. The importance of antiviral Tamiflu, basically, was used to successfully treat patients with bird flu. So, hey, the government has a stockpile of it, and they're maintaining a current fresh stockpile just in case.
Hey,
all right.
Reed,
yeah.
One of the things that I think he's going to show it anyway, toward the end, or at least in the middle anyway, we'll discuss what you just asked.
Yeah, that's part of the when we get into we'll get through these others into the swine flu. All right, so everybody's out there right now. I want to take a quick stop here for a second. A lot of this data that I have here, I did some research. Dave did most of the heavy lifting. If you're not subscribed to Southern Ohio Prepping, go over there, subscribe to Southern Ohio Prepping. All right. He has great information. He does a lot of research, and he doesn't say anything unless he has it on print or on the screen so you guys can see it. Okay. So swine flu is another, throw that down. I forgot to throw the other one down there. Sorry, folks. The H5N1 information came from the World Health Organization website. And so if you just Google it, it'll come up and give you the link to that. But there's the link for the stuff I'm going to talk about here for swine flu. Let me get back here to talk about it. Okay, swine flu is H1N1. It started when a 10-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl in Southern California, both of whom came down sick with the flu, tested positive for a new strain, H1N1.
Just so you guys know, Bedtime Stories with Charles is one of my alt channels. It makes it easier for me to post and stuff in there. So that's why I just posted the numbers. Those are the current numbers off of the Johns Hopkins website, which is at the very least 11 hours old numbers. The other list that I showed the other night, it is not currently live because it is from a news station. They usually run an all-night live stream of the current numbers. They have the last 2 nights. And if they do it again tonight, I will come back here and post it in the comment section of the video so you guys can check back like in the morning and see what they are.
Thank you. All right. So that started in April 2009, but finally in August 2002, the World Health Organization declared the end of the pandemic. Researchers estimate that at least 300,000 people died, though estimates are necessarily fudgy. I like that. They say it's fudgy. Yeah, and unlike more typical seasonal flu, elderly people were less likely to fall sick of it because of the immunity that derived from a flu strain is circulated in the mid 20th century, or during the middle of the 20th century. So like they already had it, something similar to it back when they were younger. Therefore, they had a little bit of immunity to it being older.
Hello, Ryder Dustin, David Mule Train. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Hey, guys. So let me go over to the Wikipedia site on it. So it says direct transmission of swine flu from pigs to humans is occasionally possible. In all, 50 cases are known to have occurred that way since first reported in medical literature in 1958. And so once it has been transmitted, then it starts spreading amongst people. Transmissions. If you go through, you want to check this out in more detail on the Wikipedia site. I put the link in there. Talks about between pigs to humans. And it was people who worked with poultry and swine, especially those with intense exposures, are at increased risk of zoonotic infection with influenza epidemic. Yeah, Dave?
Kathy just dropped a link for Peak Prosperity. We'll get to his last video here shortly.
Okay. And yeah. All right. So, and it gives a little bit more about it, but transmission, what does it say here? The study, among other forums, basis recommended that people whose jobs involved handling poultry and swine be focused on increased public health surveillance. Other professionals at particular risks are veterinarians and meat process workers. All right. Basically, what it means is those are the ones who can get it started from the animals to humans, but that, like I said, only 50 since 1958 they were able to document that's how it came. And then once it's into the human population, it moves around. Let me close that one out and go down to this one here, back to here.
Modern Refugee and Michael P. Welcome.
Hey guys. In this article, they had to go and throw Hollywood in there and talk about the 1911 movie Contagion and how accurate or inaccurate it was. But we'll move on past that to Ebola. And over the course of 2.5 years, the outbreak of Ebola has caused 28,600 recognized cases and 11,325 deaths, mostly in Guyana, Sierra Leone, and Liberia.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so let me do a little quick math here. Bring this up. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we have 11,325 divided by 28,600. And so basically that was a 39, almost 40% mortality rate for Ebola. And like I said, most of it was over there in Africa, in Guyana, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. And for the first time, the outbreak spread from small towns to urban centers. And that's why there was a big fear of it going worldwide. And let me go back up. Did I miss Mars? Hang on, I'll check something. Oh, I did. I'll go back to the mirrors. I missed that. It went too fast. All right. So on the site here, gets down here for transmission, and it's got some nice things here. And let me throw that link down here for you. All right. This is again off of what's been gathered and placed into Wikipedia. It spreads only by direct contact with the blood or other bodily fluids of a person who has developed symptoms of the disease. So the person has to develop the symptoms before he can spread it. Bodily fluids include saliva, mucus, vomit, feces, sweat, tears, breast milk, urine, and semen. Now, the World Health Organization states that only people who are very sick are able to spread Ebola disease in saliva. And the whole virus has not been, come on, get off that. The whole virus has not been reported to be transmitted through sweat, only part of the virus. Most people spread the virus through blood, feces, and vomit. So those that are cleaning up after someone and taking care of someone who is sick are the ones most likely to get it. Entry points for the virus include nose, mouth, eyes, open wounds, cuts, and abrasions. Okay. Ebola may be spread through large droplets. However, this is believed to occur only when the person is very sick. Excuse me. If a person is splashed with droplets, that's how the contamination is spread. Okay, so that's Ebola. Let's go back, and I missed. Okay, jump. That's why. Okay, MARS, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. We all remember that because that was 2012. It was first identified in a patient in Saudi Arabia in 2012. And the disease looks a lot like severe pneumonia. But patients also have gastrointestinal symptoms. and sometimes experience kidney failure. Since 2012, 27 countries have reported cases, with almost 2,500 people confirmed infected and 858 dead, mostly in Saudi Arabia. Let me pull up my calculator again, because it's not giving me the percentage. Oh, there it does. Yeah, it does. Right here. 35% of Mars-infected people have died. That's 35%. So we've still got some high numbers there. Went covered Ebola. Let me pull up the other Mars one here. So the Mars one talks about transmission. Transmission by camels. Do we have any camels in the United States, Dave, for people to get it from?
Well, not that we have to worry about. We shouldn't have to worry about camels here.
Yeah, they're all in zoos and stuff. Okay. But basically, between people, there has been evidence of limited but not sustained spread of Mars from person to person, both in households as well as in healthcare settings like hospitals. Most transmissions have occurred in circumstances of close contact with severely ill persons in healthcare or household settings. There is no evidence of transmission from asymptomatic cases. In other words, if someone is sick and you pass them on the street, you're not going to get. It takes prolonged, intense contact with a person that's sick to get the Mars, and a lot of it came from camels to people. So
tendency to spit at you.
Yeah. So that takes care of that one. And scrolling down Ebola. Okay, now we're into Zika. Zika is one that's always scared me, and so let's talk about. Okay, it was first discovered in 1947, but commanded media attention when a significant series of outbreaks began in 2015 in Brazil. Zika barely registers with an adult, but can cause stillbirths, preterm births, and some other medical term I can't pronounce.
That's the one where it causes an enlargement of the skull.
Right. And some research call congenital Zika syndrome in infants whose mothers are infected by mosquito or sexual transmission. Okay, so that, basically, if I go back up here to this one, to transmission, okay, it was the host was primary in monkeys, and it was mosquito cycle, occasional transmission to humans. So that, that's the way it got transmitted to humans, was by mosquitoes. And that's what really freaked a lot of people out.
Yes, Sonny, that's the word we were looking for. Microencephalopathy. I can't speak. Hey, Adam.
Thank you very much for that, Sonny Preps. Now I really feel stupid. No. Okay. It was because of mosquitoes that even DHS was spun up on this one. FBI was spun up on it. Department of Health and Human Service, everybody was spun up because of the mosquito factor.
Which is why you should always carry a can of mosquito spray in any and all bug out and medical kits.
Mm-hmm. All right, squirrel time, detour. And what I found worked out really good when I was camping at Scout Camp was I just lost the name of it.
We're just getting started, Anthony.
Yeah. The mosquito repellent stuff that comes in the little carrier case that you can carry on your hip and stuff. Anyways, if you checked out my video on the watch hour giveaways, it's prize number two in there. but it does a 15-foot repellent of mosquitoes, and we used those at scout camp, and our troop was the only troop that didn't get mosquito bites. Okay, enough of that. Back to this. All right, so the true extent of the vectors is still unknown. Zika has been detected in many more species of Aedes, I believe, which is a monkey, or yeah, no, that's the mosquito, the female mosquito. All right, all right. It basically, they're talking about the genetic material and everything having to use on it. Talks about the different ways of transmission, and then they found out that it was sexually transmitted as well, and then through pregnancy from the mother to the child, and in blood transfusions. But only 2 cases were found for blood transfusions.
Hello, Steve.
And those 2 transmissions were both from Brazil.
Hello, Southern Blessed.
It was after that the FDA recommended screening of blood donors to determine the risk for 4 weeks. So, anyways, okay, 11 of the positive donors reported symptoms of Zika fever after their donation, but only 3 of the 34 samples grew in a culture. So there was only 3 that were actual true positives. I can't remember where it is in here, so I'm just going to tell you, you guys can check this out. There are cases where people that have had Zika virus, the virus is still living in them decades, a decade later, all right? Or however long it is, so 4 years on this, but some of the ones that had it from before, from the older cases that they've tracked back, it's been, so they've had them for, a decade or so, and it's still living in them. Not always transmitted, but the virus is still alive in sort of a semi-dormant state. And that's what scares me. Because if you have all these people that have it, even though it's dormant, what could trigger it to become undormant?
Each one of them can now become patient 0.
Yes, exactly. So that's it for Zika. And let me go ahead.
Big dreams. Some people are contagious when they're just carrying.
Shoot.
Virus. When it comes to Zika, they're not, as a rule.
Yeah. Let me put this back up over here. Okay, now that's coming back up. I wanted to bring up now along that lines. Let's look at something else here. That there. That's coming up. So let me bring this here back up. All right. Let's see if this will open up in the right spot.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, it always opens on the big monitor. Okay, so from the CDC, this is just normal flu. All right. Normal flu from the 2017-2018 season, the CDC estimates there were 45 million flu illnesses in the United States. 810,000 approximate hospitalizations and 61,000 flu deaths in the United States for the 17-18 flu season. Regular flu, not Zika, not SARS, not MERS, not swine flu, not bird flu, just the regular old flu. And so now along with that, let me bring, is this going to bring it up? No, I have to bring this one here up separate. And it opens over there, of course. Just as for a quick historical note, this is a photo from the Spanish flu epidemic.
Yes, Tibor masks, all paper masks of any kind are one use only.
Yeah. Okay. So these numbers here jumped significantly since yesterday. Actually, since when? An hour, 2 hours ago now? 3 hours. Okay. So The quote total confirmed is 11,374. Total deaths is 259, with 255 recovered so far. All right, these numbers are not all conclusive. They're still they're very dynamic and changing. So let me do the quick math here. 259 divided by 11,374. So that gives you a 2% death rate out of confirmed cases. However, it may take a week or two for these confirmed cases to die. So the number, one of the doctors that was talking about this said you might as well just bump it up by 3. So figure, 6 or 7% death rate on this. And we were talking 30%, 60%, 27%, I think it was on the other one of these other ones we've had in the last 2 decades. So death rate wise, this is very moderate. Okay. Let me run out one other number here real quick here. See if I can, that was in comparison here. Bring this back up here. Yeah, bring that back to the front. So if I do run the same number check on this one here, so if we just go off, the hospitalizations, Claire, we had 61,000 deaths divided by hospitalizations. That puts it at a 7.5 death rate, which is approximately what we just, what the doctor said, if we triple what we have right now on these numbers, the numbers up here, and it was 2.2, we're close. It's not much more worse on the death rate as it looks right now as the 2017-18 flu season. All right. And I don't remember much being said about the 2017-18 flu season in the news. All right. Now we're going to get into some other numbers here. Let me get.
Yes, negotiator, you are correct. We've had doctors report that. And there is a video of a doctor while on a live stream discussing that being arrested in China for telling that. So
yeah,
just you keep that in the back of your mind.
Right. Okay, this chart here talks about infection cycles. So if you're at an infection rate of there's infection rates being passed on. So if we're at a 1-to-1 ratio, so one person gets sick, he infects one person, and after 20 cycles, you got 20 people infected from that one person. Now, if it's a 1.28 cycle, which is what the common flu normally is, after 20 cycles, you're up to from the one person being infected, you have a possibility of 494 being infected, and it goes up to the 2.0 cycle. So you have one person, and they infect 2 people, and then 4 people, then 8, 16, and so after 20 cycles, you're up to 1,048,575 infected. Okay, and just for laughs and giggles, they ran it all the way up. They ran the 2.5 cycle, the 3 cycle, and the 4 cycle. The 4 cycle, you have one person infects 4 people. Those 4 people infects 4 more, which gives you 16. Those infect 4 more, which, and that runs it up to, after 20 cycles like that,
more than the population of the earth.
366 billion. All right. That they're just showing, that was just showing the information. Right. If it's, this is, it's not a 4 cycle thing. Usually that's, and that's if every sick person gets 4 other people sick every time. So let me go ahead and drop that one down and get this one here up. Wrong one. That's the wrong one. I wanted this one. Okay, now we're talking something current. All right, this is what happened in Germany. What was that, Dave?
Buddy Nash just showed up.
Hey, buddy. So this is what happened in Germany for the last 12 days. All right. Basically, index patient came from China to Germany was here for 3 days for a corporate meeting in Germany. They left on the 22nd to fly back to China. In China, the next day they started showing symptoms of being sick. They were hospitalized, and the test came back on the 26th positive for the virus. So you see the line here. You see the line right here where they were attending the meetings. There were in the meeting, patient 1 was attending the meetings with this person. Several days on the 24th, the person began feeling sick, and they, went home and was sick, and said fine, but they know we're testing you. Tested positive on the 27th. Patient 2 was also in the meetings. He didn't demonstrate symptoms also till a couple days later. Got really sick and started to recover. Went back in, and they tested him, and he tested positive.
Now, mind you, that is after the second person, from not ground zero, but not the first one, but the second person who claimed to have been healthy. The hospital cleared him as healthy, but when they did a test, they showed that he still had active virus in his system.
Exactly. So these two, patient 1 and 2, were in the meeting with the person from China. Patient 3 and 4 were not. Patient 3 and 4 had contact with patient 1, and they began to show symptoms. Their contact was before patient 1 showed symptoms. So patient 3 on the 20th and 21st had contact with patient 1, and several days later was showing symptoms. Patient 4 had patient contact these days, but patient 1's symptoms didn't show until later in the day of that evening of the 24th, after he'd had contact. So while he had contact with patient 4 and patient 3, he showed no symptoms. And this brings up the one thing that has been bothering me, and I've been in contact with certain people I can't talk about. Knowing who I was, you know who it is.
It's an ABC. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And so basically this is a concern now, is that because of what's happened in Germany, that the person who is sick and not showing symptoms is contagious and could pass it on.
Something I made mention of a couple nights ago.
Yeah. Now, Dave, what other countries were there?
Right now, current human-to-human, non-China contact, which means they were not in China, and nor the second person in this contact has been anywhere near somebody from China. There is now 4 nations, US, Germany, Japan, and Australia, that have human-to-human, non-China transfer of the coronavirus.
All right. And the one in the US is the
husband to the wife that went.
Yes. All right. So that is what the White House is all concerned about, and why the White House has made their declaration that they did.
And it's mainly due to the last three, or the bottom three on there, that are showing positive PCR after being declared healthy.
Yes. And the same thing happened now in Southern California. Let me go ahead and close this. At the what's the Air Force Base? Martin Air Force Base.
What?
That where the plane that was coming from China went to Alaska. They stayed up there for several days, tested them up there. Everybody was clear. Went. They had the plane come down to Southern California where they were going to test them again. And in the testing process, one of those that was clear before now tests positive.
And oh, by the way, he tried to break out too.
Yes. He's under forcible quarantine right now. And so they're holding everybody for another 72 hours before they release anybody. Now, this is good. This is according to Gil. If it were me, it wouldn't be 3 days. It'd be 6 days.
And in all honesty, with the current unknown of the true gestation period of this disease, we still don't have a definitive number. They're still bouncing between 2 days and 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty, if we want to make sure people are clear, and I know this sounds rather draconian in nature, but they need to be no less than 17 days. That's 14 days of possible incubation period and 3 days to come out of it. If they're going to be, sick at any point, it'll show up by then. If after 17 days they have shown no signs of it, they need to check in once a day with a medical professional for the next 10 days. I know, like I say, that sounds pretty nasty, but when we're talking about something that has a possible R0 value of 4, which is very, very contagious, then we need to make sure that we take every possible precaution. I don't think locking down our cities is the right option at this point.
Right. Yeah. The rolling hills and wild edibles. Yeah. So we're not trying to do fear porn right now, guys. We're just trying to get the information out there so you know what's really going on. So the one in Germany, you had the one person that caught it from the person from China, the other person that caught it from the person in China, and the two that caught it from one of those two.
I'm going to address something that Sonny just brought up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The testing, the real delay in the testing right now is that, okay, patient one who in California decided to go hostile when they said, no, you have to be quarantined. He tested positive, pre-positive. Okay, that means they're pretty sure he's got it, but we don't know. We got to ship it all the way to Georgia and have Georgia tell us whether it's right or not. That's where the biggest issue is coming in. If we're going to do this, we need the hospital staffs on site to be able to make the tests themselves without shipping the doggone stuff off to 2,000 miles away to have them designate whether it is or not. We need to stop that. That delay can cause more harm than good. If we're going to do this, let's do it right. It's just like fixing your car. You don't go pulling the muffler off if you think it's a spark plug. Okay, it's the same analogy. They're testing one thing instead of the whole thing. We need to do the whole thing all at once and not ship the results off to somebody else for somebody sitting in office, nice and cushy, air conditioned, with their blouse being, lifted up by somebody else or whoever they're doing it. They need to pay attention and let the people on site, right at ground zero, make the designation right then and there. If they're wrong, hey, that person's getting treated and they'll be fine. But if they're right, they've saved 24 hours in that person's life.
Okay, I got a question here. I got a question for negotiator. All right, you're saying that they have 0 symptoms longer than 14 days?
Asymptomatic. That's something that that one video that I showed you from Penny, whatever it was, or whatever.
Okay. All right, that's what. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure where that came from. Okay, so all right. So basically, though, like in Germany, we are looking at one person infected 2, this person infected 2. So basically, that brings us back to this chart here that the White House declared the national health emergency on. Come on, open up. Where they're using this line here, where one person infects 2 people. Fortunately, the second person didn't infect another, so it went 1 to 2 to 2, because the second person did not infect another one, and those other 2 have already been stopped. So we don't know if it's going to go any farther. But it appears that that these 2 here got, may or may not have infected anybody else. We don't know, because those here, they could be showing up here in the next day or 2, and hopefully Germany's honest enough to put it out there that there is 1 more or 2 more that have caught it on this, and they're keeping it under control. 4 more? What's that, Dave? They found 4 more now?
No, there's a total of 4 there.
A total 4 here, yeah. But beyond these, we don't know if patient 3 or patient 4 have infected anybody else. And they also don't know whether or not patient 2 has infected anybody. It does not appear so, which, is probably, you can have someone get sick and not get anybody else sick.
Correct. Yeah. Correct, Reed. Nobody from the U.S. has died.
And nobody from Germany has died.
Dog Patch, hello.
Okay, so Dave, that's my spiel on it. What else do you have to add to this? And do we need to throw up any videos?
The only video, if you're going to throw up a video, that'd be one that last link I sent you on Facebook, where he actually just goes over what you said in a little bit more detail. So it may make it a little more understandable, and it may fill any holes that we may have left.
Okay. That one I can give him the link to it. I think let me pull up that would have been the one
from Penny Preppers or whatever.
Penny Preppers. Okay, let me go to it this way.
Penny Financial or something like that. Whatever it was called.
Dang it. Yeah, I think I just accidentally closed the page I wanted. No, I did not. There we go. So I take it. It's not there. Oh, I know where I got to go for it. Give me a second. Too many folders. Coronavirus. And that was the the update of set? That was
Hello, Heavens. You leaving, Lori? Have a good night.
Trying to figure out which one it was here in the list here of all the ones they downloaded. That was actually a YouTube video.
Yep.
Okay, that would be. That's that MedCram?
No.
No, not MedCram. Okay. That was the other one similar to that one.
I'm going to find it.
Yeah.
My computer's slower than yours.
Yeah. Like I said, we've been compiling tons and tons of data. This, because Dave's been sending me stuff and I've been pulling up stuff. Okay. Give us a second, please. Bear with us. We're hunting down the information. Having a lot of information can sometimes bog you down.
I'm going to post it in private chat because I actually have to go.
Okay.
Real quick. There you go.
All right.
Hide the camera and do this.
All right. So go to private chat here and Control C. And that is from, okay, yeah, that one there. I thought I had that. I guess I don't. Okay, got it in my thing now. This is from Peak Posterity. Let me throw this over here real quick. So I'm going to throw this link here into the other chat. Come on, there we go. All right, so there's the link to this video here. This is why the White House declared a national emergency. In this video is where I got. He goes through and goes through the format here. Hang on a second. Let me bring this up to a higher quality. Sorry, guys. Boom. And it goes through all that data there. But that's where I got this chart here from. Was off of this video there. But he goes through and explains everything a little bit more like I did. But he goes into and he goes through all the discussing what the R value is, and all that fun stuff. So, guys, this is probably a good one to. Okay, it goes. It talks about cleaning. This guy goes into the type of stuff you need to help you out. The Clorox wipes, et cetera, and all the cough stuff and everything else to have in your home. So covers a round of good stuff there on it, and yeah. So he's talking about it. So go ahead and just stop that. All right, and if you go there, you can get his the link to his .com page to get the report on that he's talking about there. So pulls back to us. All right, so guys, how does this affect us in America? We have 6 cases, I believe it said there. Let me go back. I'm going to go over here and look, double check here just to make sure I got this right.
Yes, 6 confirmed cases out of 197. Out of that 197, they're minus 6, then minus another 64 who have been confirmed not carrying, and the rest are presumed to possibly, again, mind their words, not mine, their words, presumed possible. The testing phases aren't over with, and they're not exactly sure. I have 2 right now in lockdown just north of where I live. So, I mean, for those who are saying this ain't that bad, well, right now it's not. Okay, it's not that bad right now. But rather than sit here and put your head in the sand, and I'm not knocking anybody, don't take me wrong, but don't put your head in the sand and think, oh, it's nothing, it's going to blow over. There is a chance, albeit small at this point, that this could blow way out of proportion. Rather than wait until the last possible second and everybody run around screaming like chickens with their head cuts off, we'd rather have the information out there.
Yeah.
It's better to have information and not need it than then have the information and not be able to find anything anywhere on it.
Yeah.
If I've offended somebody, I'm sorry, and I'll shut up and leave if that's what y'all want. Just type it in the chat and I'll go. But I'd rather put out the information, honest, true information that's been gathered up over the last 3 days to make sure that people have the proper information to make the proper choices. And I'll shut up. Okay,
so Negotiator just put this out there. Check out I can't pronounce SARS Fences YouTube site. He's a British guy in China married to a Chinese doctor. Okay, so there's something else to check out. We will check that out later. All right, and this is exactly why we're doing this, is not to spread paranoia, but to provide information. Today, this morning, I went up to Idaho Falls, to Home Depot. I got 4 packets of the N95. There's three in a pack here. I got 4 of them just in case for here. My daughter's going to go up and she's going to get several from Lowe's. So, with just some stuff we're going to do. Her plan with her 3 boys, that if it shows up in Idaho, on eastern Idaho, which means it's going to be the Pocatello most likely, or Idaho Falls, then her kids will not be going to school. Tomorrow morning,
Right.
I already made one trip to Sam's Club today. And so I'm going to just getting some more, extending our food supply just a little bit more and more of the perishables that we keep in the refrigerator. And we're just going to keep a stock up. We're not going overboard. We're just keeping a stock up.
Gil.
Yes.
Ryder Dust had a question for you.
Okay. Yeah. So
Kathy put it up there. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, very simple. Take out the spaces and add at gmail.com. All right. And it's, probably, I mean, seriously, in a side chat, Corsair trainers, he's been putting this out. Don't buy into all the hype. It's most like, he had a good one today about prisons. It's like, hey, there's not a plan to go in there and kill all the inmates. There is no such plan for that. There's not, don't go buy into a lot of these people's fear porn dreams of what this turns into a global pandemic. Don't buy into all the fear of, it's going to wipe everybody out. It's not. Right now, it looks like we have confirmed deaths to confirmed cases of 2.2%. If the one doctor I was listening to is right, and that is, it should be triple that because of the delay in reporting of the reporting and the disease moving forward through a person. Could be three. Actually means that the death rate is 3 times what it is for this number of confirmed cases. We're still at barely 7%, which is below what it was for the 2017-2018 flu season. Well, negotiator, I got a challenge for you. Make a video on that. Put it out there so we can all spread that video around. Yeah, so there's some of the masks and stuff. One of the ones I have ordered from Amazon is supposed to be arriving on Monday. Has the N99 mask with charcoal in it as well. Now, you want to know about masks and which masks are good and which ones aren't. Give me a second here. That's going to be Doc Bones and Nurse Amy. And I'll bring that up over here in a second. Okay, let's go back to this one. I'm gonna put it on full screen here for you guys and take that one down. Okay, Doc Bones, Nurse Amy. That's the Doom and Bloom medical site of Joe Alton and Amy Alton. Yeah, they got. I wish I was a third as smart as they are. All right. Face mask, part 1. He talks about the differences between surgical, N95, N99, etc. And he has a this one right here. So let's scroll down, and then he has. Is it down here? Or is it up there? Oh, it's up here. I got to drop it up here. Show 8 more. Yeah. So there's part 1. There's part 2. And he shows, as you saw there in that quick little thing there, he's showing how you put the different type masks on. And more importantly, people, he's showing you how to take them off. So it's a Doc Bones, Nurse Amy website. And, if you're not subscribed to them, let's see here. There's the link to their site. Or did Kathy already beat me to it? So there's the link to their site. I would recommend strongly subscribing to them. They got great stuff going back years on viruses, and they had a lot of information out when the Ebola was out. They had information out when MERS was out. They are prepper doctor and nurse. Okay, they're into prepping big time.
Just to give you an idea how long they've been doing this and how long they've been preparing, the virus breakout kit, and I guess I can go pull that up.
Off of Doom and Bloom.
Yep.
I'll have it just a second here.
Built that in 2004. Okay. That's when I do believe that's when she started last night. It was 2004 when she made that kit. So it's not like they just suddenly blossomed out into making, antiviral kits to sell. She's had it in there for several years, and
okay, is this not go to the store?
Your store, doomandbloom.net. Go to the store.
Okay, okay. It didn't go directly to it. I thought it was going to go directly. Okay, so here's this. Let me put it up here, and actually, I'm going to blow it up. You don't need to look at me while you're looking at this. They've been doing kits and stuff, all sorts of different kits. The big, huge monster super kit, which several of us are just drooling over trying to get. And so let's go to.
If you scroll, it should be on that page.
Yeah. Let's see how far down. They got all sorts of neat. There we go. Here we go. So grab severe trauma wound kits, surgical wound.
I think it's a little lower yet.
Suture.
You'll notice it'll have a red background with masks and stuff on it. It may be back up toward the middle.
Yeah. They may have been. I don't know if they out already. It's categories, survival gear, bleeding trauma. There we go. Boom. Okay, yeah. So they have they're redoing their website because to bring specifically for the coronavirus, to bring all their other supplies out. There it is, their coronavirus and flu pandemic preparedness video, and then they have they got the different part. If you want to build your own,
they may be out.
They may be out, yeah, because they may have had a run on it because it was in here this morning. It looked it looked different. They had to rework their stuff. They got the gloves still. They've got the stuff. They even it had the disposal bag and stuff for decontamination. So yeah, I mean, a lot of places are, they do have some stuff there, but yeah. Even their stuff is going out the door.
Because let me find. Shoot.
I
got to find my account. There it is.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, some people are panicking. All right. Okay. Hang on. Here.
Yes, it is. They are out. It is. I had it in my wish list, and they are completely out of it.
Oh, okay.
That stinks.
Yeah. So I was going to be talking to my wife after the call here and see if it's okay to get a couple of those. Oh well. But like I say,
Doc and both Mayor Sammy were on a live stream last night with over 700 people in it. So it's not surprising that they sold out that quickly because, as Doc Bones and Nurse Amy said, they can no longer order those masks and stuff in because all the suppliers are locking out anybody that is not government or hospital. If you're not you're not a major hospital, you cannot order that stuff in bulk. And if you find it on Amazon or at your local store, now is the time to get it if that's what you intend to do. I'm not telling you to go do it.
Right.
But if your notion, then go do it now. Otherwise, you're not going to have a chance here in about another 2 weeks. There will be none left to buy because the mainstream media, although portraying it as not that bad, a lot of people are doing the research and seeing that the mainstream media is lying about it, and they're buying the crap out of it.
Okay, I'm looking up here. So, Tibor, you're saying the CDC website was down or something? Okay, he's asking us about the 2 local college kids too, as well.
I have not heard anything more since 9 and 10, or WCPO Channel 9 actually put something out on it.
Yeah.
It was quiet right after that.
Had they tested positive, or they were still just being held and examined?
They're on personal lockdown at their apartments, and that's the last thing that's been said.
Right.
And it's typical media coverage. Yeah. Oh, let's not cause fear. Let's not cause anything. Let's not tell them the truth or what's going on.
Yeah. So they're just, yeah. Okay, let me scroll down. I'm scrolling down, going through the chat here. Now, Pennsylvania Prepper has several videos about the Curad virus face mask. And basically, I'm just paraphrasing what she said in her last video. She got through to the parent company of Curad. I can't remember the name of the company, but anyways, they sell mainly to hospitals and government agencies, and you can't. They have their health provider website, and then they have the home user website. Well, on the home user website, they're out of the mask. On the medical and health provider one, they had a bunch of masks still there, and you have to have a tax ID number and stuff like to go in there. Well, Pennsylvania Prepper has a tax ID number. She went in there. She was talking to the person. They were going to send her a box of 50 that was in the New Jersey warehouse, and she was asking about the case of 300. And the operator went to talk to the supervisor, came back, and the box of 300 was already on purchase order. In other words, it was locked out by someone who ordered it. And then when they went to try to process her for the box of 50, someone beat her to it. Now, these masks are not made in the United States. Really? Guess where they're made at? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
USA, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea.
Getting closer.
No, that's where they were made. That's where Nurse Amy's is coming from.
Yeah,
she talked about it last night.
But the ones this company this company that she was working with to get the ones from Curad,
those come from China.
Those come from China. Now the ones I tried to order off Amazon, which were 1 micron face mask, which is smaller than the hole is smaller than the virus, so the virus cannot get through. At first it said like 3 weeks or so to get it. That there tells me it's coming from China right off the bat. Then when I ordered it, it would jump from 3 weeks to like 9 weeks. And it was out in the middle of April before it was going to be coming. And so it's like, okay, so by the time it gets here, I can spend my $60 somewhere else, and I can get some, try finding some other ones around. So I'm picking up N95 masks instead. Yeah, there it is. North Star. Kathy just put it up there for Pennsylvania Preppers channel. Yeah, she's got a couple good ones. She's got good stuff on prepping. Every day, prep a little more. That's what she's doing. But there's a lot of the masks are coming from over in Taiwan, China, South Korea, Hong Kong. All right. So They're all, anything that is under the Chinese government control at all has been locked down. They're no longer shipping them out overseas. They're keeping them over there from mainland China and those countries.
Honestly, Dog Patch, I don't believe so.
Would Doc?
He asked if it was possible to source your own materials.
No. However,
you can make your own. Some activated charcoal filter.
Yeah, but it's gonna be bulky and everything. You make it for your house, but
well, no. Look, what you do is you go to your local pet supply store. They make little teeny packages that have carbon filter in it, or activated carbon charcoal in it. It's already in a patch style. Then you have to take and make yourself a cloth to wear over with it. Okay. And if you really want to button yourself down, you get a piece of HEPA filter and put on the front side of it, and you put your cloth on the outside of that. Then you put your activated carbon filter behind that and put that up against your nose and your mouth and make sure it's sealed really good, and you have a chance. You can make one. It's not hard. It's time consuming, and it's going to be a lot more expensive, but you will have a N100 mask.
Yeah. Now, the other way to go, this is off of Amazon.
And those are still highly available.
Yes.
They won't be much longer.
Because people don't think about this, because this is construction work and hazmat work masks. I have 2 of these full face ones, the 7600 series, because that's what was required for hazmat when I was working hazmat 29 years ago. If you look on here, this purple part of the filter is a HEPA filter, which is better than an N100 filter. The one behind it is organic fumes, which is even tinier and smaller. But so they have full face masks, and I'm going to go half face respirator. Which are these, and this one here has just a pure HEPA filter only on it. I got a 5-pack of HEPA filters coming, going to be arriving also on Monday. But yeah, and so this is basically, this is better than your N100 mask right here. These are, and these replacement cartridges. CARTRID cartridges. Okay, so it's $8 for a pair of them, of not this type, just the pure this type. $8 for one of those, and they have the 5-pack here. See, anything that's purple on it is the super HEPA filters. And they got them for different brands. They don't have the, but I ordered the 5-pack, well, 5-pair. Is what I ordered to come in. I know how to decontaminate these masks because I went through the hazmat training. You got to take them off a certain way. You got to have special, have the nitrile gloves on while you're doing it. They got special wipes that came that North makes for decontaminating them. They also make a dust cover. See if that brings it up.
While you do that, I'm going to address something that was mentioned a moment ago. You do need something to cover your eyes. You need proper clothing. If it gets that bad, you will need something to cover your eyes. Recommendation is to put in soft earplugs to plug the hole going into your head from that side. You also want to make sure you're wearing a Tyvek suit. Again, if it gets that bad, rubber boots. Yeah. All of this will be discussed this coming Wednesday on my live stream starting at special time of 9 o'clock, because Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy will again join us on my live stream.
That's 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. Now,
then they're mainly doing this because there is so much misinformation out there. And I've even asked them on a couple of things that I found before I shipped it off to Gil, telling him to, hey, check this out, whether or not they thought it was true, whether there was any basis behind what was being said. So yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. So these little covers right here, I'm showing. Let me enlarge this a little bit here. Get over on the other page. Enlarge. These clip on, as you can see here, they're clipping onto these other filters. They have pads that go in there that you have single layer, or you can get the double layer pads. The single layer pads are N95.
Oh, Jerry.
The double layer pads are much better. They're better than the N100. All right. So that's those there. So I clicked on it. And so they fit very all the North brand filters, respirators, or you can buy them with a screw-on base, so you can just put those on there and you just get the replacement filters, a box of replacement filters of the N95 for those, which is a lot cheaper, and then you just pop the cover off, throw the internal pad away, and you just wash the cover down with 90% alcohol.
Mm-hmm. And Negotiator brings up a good point. If it gets that bad and things start running out of supply, most preppers have a frog suit, and some frog suits have a hood. Make sure you duct tape your boots together to your suit, with the suit on the outside of the boot. Make sure your gloves are duct taped to the suit, on the gloves on the outside of the suit. You put on your hood and your mask and your goggles, and then you go out and do what you got to do. Then you come back and take it off in reverse order, preferably
outside.
Having somebody help you take it off, because it's much easier to stay contamination free if you're being helped, and you do it in a small pool, like he said.
Spelling that right? Not sure.
What are you looking for?
Tyvek. T-I or T-E?
T-E.
T-Y. T-Y. All right. Tyvek suits. There we go. So Home Depot currently has.
Actually, Kathy, that's going to be at 9 o'clock special time. But thank you.
Yeah. So they have Tyvek suits, the same ones that painters use, because it's impervious to the oil base of the oil paints or the water paint, so that it's impervious to the spittle, moisture drops, or whatever you want to call it, of the person sneezing out there is going to be doing. And they got different sizes. Always go larger than what you're wearing. Yeah, they have the medium 3M medium mold painter's half face respirator mask, $24, and you can just get the stuff for that. But yeah, check around. Home Depot, Lowe's. I know Harbor Freight even has Tyvek suits, and so any place you can get a Tyvek suit, if it gets that bad. Harbor Freight. Is you can get 20% off coupon, 3 days. All right, so what are we looking at? Tyvek. Tyvek, search. It's not showing it right now.
No, it's because you got the word type in there. Look at the top, scroll back up, and you see what it says you typed. You type.
No, I typed in Tyvek. You can see where it's, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking at Tyvek suits, SUITS. See if that brings up. So I had a thing showing me that they had them. Yeah. So their website's not showing it. They have it in their painting supplies. I've seen them. So they have them there as well. Or if you just want to do it from the easy point here, take it from the beginning. Just go back to just search for Tyvek suits.
Again, thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, see, Harbor Freight. You have them in the different ones here, Tyvek suits, but you just look and you can pick them up. They got the cheap, flimsy, disposable ones.
And mind you, that brings up another point. If it gets that bad, if it comes to the point where you cannot go out of your house without wearing a suit of some sort, guess what? Every time you go out, you have to put on a new suit. Every time you come in, that suit you are wearing is now a biohazard, needs to be disposed of immediately.
Yeah.
It is not a wear it every other day or every day type thing.
Yeah. You don't throw it in the household trash. You get one of those heavy duty construction garbage bags, 45 to 55 gallon bags, and you stand in the middle of that bag, you peel it off down into the bag, and you step out of the bag, and your suit stays in the bag because you don't want to accidentally contaminate your home. Now, this is worst case scenario, which I don't believe in any stretch of the imagination it's going to get to. Personally, I don't believe it. But right. Yeah, you can get, did I say Tyvek suits are all around. You get them with the hoods, without the hoods. There's different. You can get different ones, different wear, different ones, different places. Yeah. So there's all sorts of different types, different levels of them. You just need something that is waterproof to keep the sneezing and the coughing particles from getting to your clothes. So that. All right, Reed, take it easy. Yeah. So that's just what as far as what we've gone to the extreme of stuff you need to do for the basic stuff. If you're basically this goggles, the face EPP.
And Sonny, that's why people are dying. It's not because of the virus itself. It's causing the pneumonia, which is what's causing them to pass away. It's also causing their heart condition to exasperate itself into a more serious condition. It's not necessarily the virus itself that's killing them. It's the after effects of the virus causing the fluid buildup in the lungs due to pneumonia, the heart to develop erratic conditions.
All right. Negotiator, no, you can't use heavy duty rain gear because you don't have the facility to sterilize it. You say, oh, yeah, I'll wash it down and clean it up, but you have a bunch of contaminated water. Well, what are you doing with that contaminated water? Because they don't know how long that virus will remain alive in that water that you just washed down with.
And it's not you want to run down the doggone drain either.
Yeah. Okay. PPE. All right. So let me bring this other one back up here. All right. Personal protective equipment. Will Russell, just in time prepping, talked about that on Monday. And one of the things to do, let's see, bring this thing here up here. Oh, get the right page here. There we go. Tyvek suit. You can get the little booties, but then you duct tape it. You put on your gloves. You duct tape it. You put on your mask. You put on this. This is the biohazard bag. This is what Doc Bones and Nurse Amy had on Doom and Bloom, but they ran out of the other pieces to put the stuff together. You can pick the safety goggles, like this type of safety goggles. up at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Harbor Freight, even auto parts stores will have those. They'll have the nitrile gloves. Face shields, though. Come on. Face shields. Scroll down here. And they're showing the face shields. All right. They're not showing the face. Let me just go ahead and just Google face shield. Just bring up face shield here. PPE, FACE, face shield. Now this is what these type face shields here is what kind of what I went. Sorry, that was a sale, so I need a non-sale site here. The cheap ones here you can get at Harbor Freight for a couple bucks. Looks something like these. Enlarge it. Yeah, it's just a little, simple little thing. Plastic shield. You put that. You wear your goggles. You put that in front. That will also keep anybody coughing and sneezing at you from it even reaching the mask a little bit. It still go around it to the mask, but it'll stop an onslaught. To this, you go to take this off. You you drench it with alcohol, wash it down good with alcohol, and let the alcohol kill the virus if there's any on it. There's some different ones here, little cheap ones.
Night BR.
Yeah, Doc Pat, you're right. Goods coming from China might dry up, but like Dave mentioned earlier, anything coming from China, unless it was produced beforehand, they don't know how long that virus stays alive on surface. They're finding out it's staying alive longer than they thought, but they don't know how long it'll stay alive. As you here you can see all sorts of different type cheap disposable face shields. They just have the elastic band around them and some styrofoam in front to keep it out in front of the person's face. Goggles, glasses, multiple layers. But Doc Bones was saying that if you have goggles and the mask, the face mask, go ahead and get a shield too if you're in that type of situation where you're going to be dealing with them, people that are sick.
Helps keep the moisture off your mask. Makes the
mask
a minute or two longer.
Now, about masks. N95 basically stops 95% of particles 0.3 microns in diameter. The virus is 0.12 microns. But when I was chatting back and forth with Doc Bones, he's saying that they're finding out that even though it's an N95 is 0.03 size, it's still stopping a lot of the virus. And they found healthcare workers in a study that were the disparaging numbers between those without a mask and those with an N95 mask. It's like the difference between a Volkswagen Bug and a Lincoln Continental. Yeah, you get it, you don't get it. So it is even though it's not the smallest size to stop all the possible virus particles, it stops enough to keep so much that it keeps most people from getting sick with it, just an N95 in a hospital setting, folks, where there's a lot of sick people around. All right, so you got N95, N99, and N100. N100 is definitely more difficult to breathe through than the N95 because it stops everything 0.3 microns. Microns or larger. Now the N is for non-petroleum based particles. P95, 99, and 100 is petroleum, and R is resistant.
Hold on. Okay, the P actually stands for petroleum, yes, but it's because it's petroleum infused.
Yeah.
Those are designed for smoke inhalation, gases, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I
Yeah.
knew.
So it's
I know.
basic. It's like it's for the it's stop the oily stuff like oily smoke and those type oily particles is whereas the N will not stop those particles supposedly.
And the reason
That's
the
what.
5 masks are working, just so people understand why they do work. The viruses that this has been tested in, shall we say, it wasn't a true test. I didn't get somebody to throw a mask on and stand them in front of it. But in the studies that were done, the N95 is because most of the viruses that are encountered in a hospital setting are enveloped in a liquid. Those masks do a darn good job of stopping that liquid. Okay, that's what they're for. That fiber infused cloth that they use is designed to stop moisture both going out and coming in. That's why those masks actually don't last that long. A couple hours at most with your own breathing alone will degrade the ability of that mask to stop any bacteria. Just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And that's why in hospitals and stuff they change masks frequently. They don't wear the same mask all day.
Well,
And
walk into a room with a mask on. The minute she walks out of that room, that mask is discarded immediately.
yeah, and another one put on.
Mm-hmm.
And you all seen the TV shows. Doc Bones pointed this out. You see them walking around, coming out of surgery, and they got the mask hanging around their neck and stuff. Yeah, they don't do that because that outside of that mask is considered contaminated, and it goes in the trash. And if someone's coming out of surgery, the gowns and stuff don't come out of surgery. They get discarded and they get cleaned up before they come out. Unlike the shows in the TV show. But
yeah, they have a decon room. Well, it's not a true decon room, but they have a room where they take everything off and wash up. They have nice big sinks with medicated or antibacterial soap and antifungal and all that good stuff. And that's where they take everything off. Then they go into another room and get redressed. They don't get dressed and undressed in the same room.
Yeah.
And so this is right. Don't be afraid to call your local physician if you just call and say, hey, look, I'm a little concerned. What do you think? And just talk to your doctor. Be honest about it. Be open. Most doctors are pretty decent. You do have quacks out there that may try and fear porn you.
Yeah.
This isn't fear porn. This is honest information, so you're prepared. Just like preparing for hurricanes, tornadoes, or other stuff. You don't go to the store buying, your survival food with panic and thought. Oh my gosh, I gotta have this food. No, you go, okay, I want to be prepared, so I'm going to buy this food. Well,
Yeah.
knowledge is power. Power gives you the ability to stay alive longer than those who are uneducated in the same situation that you are. If, I'll shut up.
Dave, question. I'm trying to remember. On his mask part 1, he just talked about taking masks on off. He didn't talk about gloves, did he?
That was actually part 2. Part 1, he actually discussed different masks. Part 2, he shows how to don and doff them.
But he didn't talk about gloves in either one of those.
No.
Okay. On this last night?
Last night, he actually did discuss the gloves as well as taking into Tyvek suit on and off.
Right. I saw part of it.
That this coming Wednesday as well.
Okay. So this Wednesday, he'll talk about how to put gloves on, how to take them off, and taking the gloves off, you do it in a very specific way so you don't get contaminated on it. If I had gloves here, I could show you how to do it because I've been doing it for like 30 years. Both in construction hazmat and in law enforcement. Same way, everybody teaches the same way you take those gloves on, proper way to take gloves on and off so you don't contaminate yourself while you're taking it off. All right.
Well, right now, without the knowledge of knowing exactly how long that virus will live in a dried up piece of spittle, to be blunt about it, we honestly don't know. There is no conclusive proof anywhere yet on whether it will live without that mucous membrane covering it or if it's going to die. If you order something that's hard, like metal or hard plastic, good idea is to bleach it down, sanitize it down, whatever you're going to do. If it's something that's soft, I wouldn't order it.
Yeah, no stuffed animals from China.
I like the Wish website. I have no problem usually with what they send me, but right now I've told them no, nothing, not at all. I don't want anything right now, not until it's is completely blown over, and they're going to suffer for it because a lot of people are going to say it the same way I am. I don't want to take a chance because 90% of what comes from Wish comes from where?
China. Yeah.
And the rest of the countries over there that are also heavily infected also produce the stuff that's on the Wish website. Now, if you're ordering off Amazon and you're able to get it and it says guaranteed delivery within 5 days, that stuff's already sitting here in a US warehouse and has been for at least 2 months. So the probability of it having anything on it is extremely slim.
Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, okay, they're finally updating these a little bit better here. They're moving stuff around here on the map here. I'm going to go over to the map again. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. But before I do, Canada up here in British Columbia is the one. It's just one case in British Columbia, and then 2 cases in Toronto. And I heard that these are being held in the hospital where Hooples works at. That's Hooples Cat ELP, I believe, is his website, his Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay, let's bring this in a little bit more here. Okay, yeah, they still have them. They're showing them up by Fresno. They're not, because I was talking with Scott at Hidden Valley Homestead. Scott, if you're still in there, chime in. But he was saying that they're down close to where he's working down in LA. Irvine. One's down in Irvine, and I can't remember where Scott said the other one is, but they're down here, not up there. So the map is incorrect where they are there. Now, earlier, this had it over in Seattle. I'm not sure whether they're in Seattle or they out here, because originally they had the one in LA and they moved it up by Fresno. So there's no telling how correct that is. Then over here, this one was in Chicago. Now they moved it down here. I'm not sure exactly where the one in Illinois is. And they still have the one in Toronto. Now, the ones that someone was talking about, the college students in Ohio, is that near Cincinnati or Columbus, Dave? Dave, you there? You're muted, so I guess he's dealing with this kid. But it's wherever the Miami University in Ohio is at. That's where those university students were at. So let me take it back. And then the other one is in Arizona. Yeah, they moved it out. It's down here by Prescott, Arizona, in Maricopa County. That's not Maricopa County where they're showing here on the map. So, yeah, this map is several days behind on their numbers, but we've noticed how fast the recovered numbers coming out of China are growing. To me, it still sounds a little suspicious. But what else we got here? Any more questions in the side chat about stuff? I don't think China's letting any medications come out of China right now. Okay. Sunny Preps. Now, that would be a good question for next Wednesday for us to put into the Doc Bones and Nurse Amy. Now, the fish antibiotics, he lists the specific ones that he says that are safe, because those are the ones he's contacted the manufacturer, because the fish antibiotics have the exact same dosage rating and the markings as human antibiotics. And he says that he's found out that the ones that he recommends in his videos and in his book are actually made at the same time as the human antibiotics are. It's just that they go and divide some off and put them off. Okay, we're going to send these for fish. They're the exact same thing. That's why he notates which ones are safe for human consumption. Yeah, so so back on the 15th, if you go to Southern Ohio Prepping, you can see the first interview that Dave and I had with him, and him and Nurse Amy. So it's Dr. Bones his name is Joe Alton, and so he was there, and they talked about the antibiotics a lot on the 15th. So let's see. Yeah. So so what you were saying, check out that video that's on Southern Ohio Prepping for the 15th, Wednesday night. Doc Bones and Nurse Amy talk about the stuff there a lot. Yeah. And like with the fish mocks, you got to make sure it's the one that came from the plant that makes it for humans as well. All right. One other thing to consider, your basic preps. If you haven't started stockpiling extra supplies and stuff, you might want to consider it. Check what's on sale. Get what don't go out and drop a huge load. All right. One step at a time. That's what I like about Pennsylvania Prepper. She's always shopping and looking for the best deals. That's the way my mom taught me to do it back in the 70s. And that's the way she built up, a year and a half worth of supplies, not just food, everything, toilet paper, Kleenex, paper towels. She had a year and a half supply of all those supplies by the end of the 70s. I would say, if you haven't started prepping, start prepping with the stuff you like the most and eat the most.
Hello, Albany.
And then work your way up from there. Check for what's on sale. We talked about it earlier this week. If you have a single chest freezer or an upright freezer or just the freezer in your house, the beef you have, there are ways to extend it. Beans, another source of protein that helps extend it, where you don't, you can make dishes where you don't use as much beef. You add some beans to it, you add rice to it, you extend your protein, add cheese to it. There are ways to extend what you have and keep it economical. The one I mentioned it, when was that? Was that on Wednesday I talked about that? I think it was. So it's a simple, easy recipe that it's basically like stone soup. You add what you want to it, and it changes always. A pound of ground beef, 3 to 6 cups of rice, several cans of beans, taco seasoning, chili seasoning, whatever barbecue seasoning, whatever you want it flavored as. Add canned corn, whatever you want to toss in there that's, you think it's going to make almost like a minestrone type soup type thing, but it's more drier. And you can use it in burritos. You can use it in taco shells. You can just put it in a bowl with cheese on it and take chips and eat it, or just eat it with a spoon or a fork. It's really good. Hey, Scout Camp, when I first cooked it for the entire Scout Camp, they went nuts over it, and they were coming back for seconds and thirds, the Scouts trying to get this stuff. It's really easy to do. Canned beef. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Keystone canned beef. Also, if you have a Costco near you, the Kirkland canned beef. I love the Kirkland canned beef and the canned chicken. And of course, what usually comes in a can that's usually white or slightly off-white, that comes from the sea. Tuna. Macaroni and cheese. The box is macaroni and cheese. You want to stretch it? Throw in a can of chili. What do you got? You got chili mac. That's where it came from.
Hello, CR.
Hey, CR. Cool. Good to have you in here. If you can think of anything, CR, I know you've heard some of this before. Fire it off. Albert, here we go.
Brett and Cindy came in, and Will came back.
Hey, Will. Oh, eat Spam. Yeah, Spam. There's something else. Vienna sausages. Canned Vienna sausages is something good.
Nope.
Huh?
He likes those little Vienna sausages. I can't stand them. He loves them.
Yeah.
But I Spam and he don't. So
yeah. One of the interesting things, I had a friend who was from Midway. Spam over there, they eat all the time. Vienna sausages. Oh, you give them Vienna sausages, they're going to be asking you where's the bottle of barbecue sauce. They dip, like we dip chicken nuggets in barbecue sauce. They dip Vienna sausages in barbecue sauce. Yeah, Sam's has a great price. Oh yeah. In fact, the cans come out for the little can. If you buy the case of it, it was under 50 cents a can for the Vienna sausages. It's been a couple of years since I used to buy. I used to buy it for our office. We had a little snack center office, and I used to buy stuff like that for it.
Rustic homes or rustic traditions. I would actually search out on YouTube the proper way to do that. I have not done it, therefore I cannot give you an answer that I would feel comfortable with.
Yeah, we freeze put the 5 and 10 pound bags of flour in the freezer all the time, but we put it in there for like 2 weeks. We pull it out, and then we put it into a vacuum sealed bag, and then put several of those in a bucket where they're better protected. Being like only 2 weeks in the freezer is fine. You may have had something spilt in the freezer that smells like limes and stuff, that even though it's frozen, it's still, especially if it's a frost freeze freezer, you'll get that odor going in and permeating other things. Yes, you can just vacuum seal it without freezing it, but even after you vacuum seal it, I would put it in there for a week or two. That way it kills anything that might be in the flour, any mealworms, any that type of stuff.
Come on, that's added protein.
Hey, I've known people that have actually, used flour that had mealworms in it to make like hardtack and stuff because of the added protein.
All right, I'm going to share something. The
Okay.
question was raised about this, and I'm going to throw it up there.
Yeah, let's throw it up here.
Okay. Use antibiotics. Take and get this book. Not because they're going to be on my channel and have been on my channel. It's because it is one of the foremost books on giving you the information you need, and it'll also explain to a degree of the fish mox, fischicillin, and avian psyllin, and all that other psyllin stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. But that's the book to go look for right there. And if their current website is any indication as to how fast they're running out of stuff, I would get this PDQ because they've already ran out of a few things on their website.
Yeah. So, that's what my grandmother used to do. She used to use the big bowl like screen thing, sifter, and just shake it out. Negotiator, he freezes it for 2 days. 2 days, 2 days. A lot of people say they'll do it, but I'm one of those ones that says, well, if I'm in for a penny, I'm going to be in for a pound. I'm going to go for a week or two.
Yeah, Negotiator's got your dream toy.
What?
He has a number 10 canning machine.
Oh, yes. That's on my wish list. Yeah.
Well, Dog Pash, that just means you got yourself some free penicillin. Because that's where penicillin came from.
That's the thing is, the actual number on how many days you got to freeze something varies on who you talk to. We always just toss in, we're going to put in for 2 weeks, and usually it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, we got the bags in, we got to take it out. Patriot in the dark. Hey, are you coming or going? So they. Come on, take it. There we go. Yeah, we have I got 800 pounds of bulk wheat, and I got two different. I got an electric and I got a hand crank grinder here.
Yeah, when I went to go visit a friend, he came over and picked me and Charles up. We stopped at a local place that it's like an indoor flea market, and I was looking for a flour grinder. He says he's got one. He's going to dig it out and just give it to me.
Okay, cool.
It's the same guy I got the hand drill and stuff like that from. So
cool.
Take it.
All right. Guys, everyone, you got to realize up until 60 years ago, it wasn't a big deal to have bugs in. You expected to have bugs in your flowers, your stuff, and you just sifted it out. That's the way my grandmother grew up, and she lived to be 88, 89. What got her was the cigarettes. 6 packs a day. Yeah, that's where you put the kids to work. Of course, you got to be careful sometimes. The kids will see how fast they can go and how fast they can grind it.
Yep, bugs are protein.
Yeah.
Just don't put it in your mouth. You'll never know it was there in the first place.
Yeah. Actually, in certain areas, mealworms are considered a delicacy.
Well, let's not discuss strange, unique traditions in far-off places.
It's not that far off, really.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be polite. I wasn't going to talk about Vietnamese and their delicacy of monkey brains, but okay.
Yeah, we ain't going there either.
Albany, we honestly don't know. Take the precautions that we can take with a normal flu and pray. There is not enough concrete evidence yet. Right now, the only country that has been able to grow the coronavirus that we're dealing with in a petri dish so they can study and try and build an antiviral for it is Australia. They're the only ones. Yeah. We have here in the U.S., to our knowledge, China hasn't. Of course, we don't know because they don't tell us anything.
Yeah.
Now, the only place that's done it is Australia. They're the only ones that are capable at this time of testing whether or not regular alcohol or bleach solutions will kill it. They haven't said anything yet, though, because they're trying to find an antivirus for it.
Yeah. And the other thing to realize, too, is that all the flu vaccines and stuff, none of them are produced in the U.S. All of ours that we get and use here in the U.S. are produced overseas. Now, if you want to take a little extra precaution on on using the alcohol, I would use 90% alcohol rather than 70% alcohol. Like I think it was Tibor. The Tibor or negotiator said about the tattoo parlors, they're required to use a 10-to-1 or 1-to-10 bleach solution to kill the hepatitis B, C, or whatever, and all the stuff for the equipment they use in the tattoo parlors.
And Will, I'm not really whispering. I was just moved away from the microphone, but it's also midnight here and I have people sleeping near me. So I'm not going to scream into the microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, if I'm that hard to hear, I'll talk up a little bit, but I don't want to talk up too much. I don't want to be accused of keeping the neighbors up.
Okay. Yeah. It was Tibor that said that. He goes, yes, that's the state law. Yeah. And Tibor's in Ohio. Where in Ohio? I'm not going to tell you.
I know.
I know you know, and I know too, but I'm not saying. I'll let people know where I'm at, but
we already know where you're at. Every time you use a search engine, we see it.
Yeah, you see my place. But that doesn't tell you where it's at.
Oh, but there's technology out there.
Yeah. Of course, that overhead shot is 8 years old.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that? You ain't moved that property, so it's still in the same place.
Yeah. Okay. You'll eat anything when you get hungry enough. And one of the things we talked about earlier today on just-in-time prepping's 1 o'clock Mountain Time stream for he did a thing on first aid kits. One of the things we talked about is you need to have Imodium AD or other antidiarrheals. Because if you're eating something you're not used to, your body's going to say, oh, wait a minute, we're processing this differently, and you're going to have problems.
Sunday Prep brings up a good point. Bleach is the go-to standard for cleaning up things. That's why Lysol contains bleach. That's why Clorox is bleach.
Killing some germs, it has something to do with drying time. Now, I know that when they're using medical instruments and stuff to put them in that little tray to start doing it, they're using 90% alcohol. I know 90% alcohol is, it's basically it's 90% alcohol, 10% water, and the alcohol evaporates faster, because the water, there's less water in it to keep it from evaporating, but it's more potent in its killing or sterilizing properties.
Tibor, you are not allowed to use my orientation there. The one where I say, I am a figment of your imagination. If you think you see or hear me, you need to seek medical attention immediately because I am not real.
All right, everybody. Now that we've talked about this, take a look right here. You're going to see a small flash and you're going to forget about everything. I am deja vu. Okay, so alcohol ruptures the cell membranes of bacteria. And I'm guessing here, people, I'm guessing that it does something similar to the viruses. After all, where did that go?
You buried it.
No, I just had to go here and I have to pull it out of here. There, it's coming up. 3, 2, 1. There's your virus. And the reason why it's called coronavirus is, Spanish for crown, because when they were first looking at it, they thought this looked like a little crown out on the side there, the spikes of a crown. So that's how come it got the name, corona.
And McCoys, we cannot actually answer that because then we'd be telling you some very secretive things. You have been flashed more than you realize. My cat's about to get killed.
Hang on a second here. McCoys, look at the screen again. Okay. You have never been flashed before. Okay. Okay. For those that don't know what an autoclave is, could you please explain, Tibor?
It's a super hot little box.
Yeah. Yes. My hair's starting to grow back. I've stopped stressing out over all the stupid things I couldn't do at DHS. Uh, okay, I'm gonna put that one up there. What is you washed with Dreft?
Yep, draft.
What's Dreft?
It's a soap.
Okay, okay. I must have flashy thingy myself once and forgot that.
It's an old time soap.
Well, guess what? You just got flashed again, and it was no trench coat. But guys, this is the coolest little flashlight I've got picked up yet. This was at Harbor Freight. It's got a magnet on that end so I can stick it to stuff, and it's got a little clippy thing here on the side so I can just clip it on my pocket. It's got a little hole here for, yeah, kind of hard to show it here. I can't really show it here. There's a little hole thing here. Maybe I get close enough. Nope, it's not going to see it. I get it over here just right. Nope, that light's not going to shine on it. Anyways, there's a little hole here that fits like a nail to hang on, and then below it is another little thin one, like for the nail, the little finishing nails you have for people use for picture frames. It'll hang on that for the finishing nail, and this one here for there, it showed it there for the regular, like a screw or something in the wall that you can hang it on. But yeah. So, and it every now and then they have this on the actually this was free. I got this one for free at Harbor Freight on the coupon. Like I get the where's my blue one around here? I must have moved my my little blue LED flashlight I have. I get those for free on those coupons from Harbor Freight. All right. So, what else can we talk about as far as safety stuff for the nitrile gloves? Let's go ahead and kill that and go back over here. All right, you can get them in a lot of places. But the ones I like to, I used to get a bunch of the ones at Harbor Freight. They got tons at Harbor Freight, and I was just in there this week, and they had their one big old huge stash of them there. And this is a little Harbor Freight in Idaho Falls.
Like I said earlier, if you're of a pepper mindset, getting the stuff now on the off chance that we need it, you don't need it. Guess what? You're prepared for the next time. Don't go getting it because somebody was screaming at you. You've got to have it now or else. No, that's not what we're saying. We're providing truth.
Yeah.
And honesty and clarity on what the situation is, so you're informed enough to make that decision whether or not you want to go out and spend your hard-earned money to go get this stuff, because some of the stuff is cheap, some of it's not, and it's getting harder and harder to come by. So the decision is yours. We're not telling you to go do it. We're not need to go support us so we can go do it, because neither Gil or I are making anything out of this. We just want you guys to have the information so you make the proper decision. I know I've already irritated a few people tonight because I keep saying we're not trying to fear porn. We're not. We want you to have the information that's necessary to make a properly informed decision.
All right. So this is the box of examination gloves we've been getting for the last several years from Sam's Club. Let me see if that will There it is, that one there. It's a 2-pack. You know, it's got 200 gloves in each box, so it's 400 gloves total. For six, that's for $17. Come in 3 sizes: small, medium, or large. Sometimes they'll have the extra large there at the store. They have I like getting the extra large because generally I will put a large pair on, and then I'll put an extra large pair on over that if I'm working with the hydraulic fluid or the diesel fuel for my tractors, because it gives me that extra protection there. They also have where you can buy the 2,000 count. Now, if you're working on car engines and stuff a lot, or you're working with onions and chopping onions and stuff, and you go through a lot of these gloves, the 2,000 count box, might be what you want. The also your auto parts stores, O'Reilly's, I can't think of the other ones right now, AutoZone and the others. They generally have a good supply of gloves there, because that's what auto mechanics use all the time to keep their hands from getting impregnated with the stuff. So, but yeah, and they come in different colors. They come in the blue, they come in the purple, they even have them in black, and I forget what time of the year they produce the pink ones for the cancer awareness. So yeah, that's other side of the page here. There we go. That's gloves are, those gloves, I use them all the time. So we always have a supply of the mediums, the large, and the extra large.
Albany, no, this is not an airborne virus at this time. It is still an enveloped virus, which means it needs something to carry it. And it would be our mucous membranes, our liquid coming from our mouth, spittle.
Yeah.
So at this moment, there is no concern of being straight airborne. If it does become an airborne pathogen, then there will be other issues to deal with.
Yeah. Because then once it's airborne, then it survives longer in the air, because right now the moisture droplets from your sneezing or coughing are heavier than air, so they go out and they slowly fall to the ground. Which is another reason why going out, you might want to check out, like at Home Depot or Lowe's, whatever. Get the little booties for the little Tyvek booties to put on your shoes when you go shopping. Keep the stuff off your shoes, so when you go to get in your car, you're not putting it in your car, etc., etc., etc. But fortunately, if you're in the southeast, it hasn't shown up there yet.
Albany, no, do not reuse gloves. You're just taking a risk.
Oh, heck no. All right. Basically, when you take the gloves off, you pinch the glove and peel it almost all the way off. Then you go and so it's inside out, and then you flip it up against it. So you got the clean inside against the outside. You pinch it and you peel that off and turn them inside out, so you're not touching any of it. That's the way you take those gloves off at all times. Practice it. Even if you're working on a car, peel it off that way. Keep the grease and stuff inside. Working in the kitchen, chopping onions, you keep that onion juice that burns your eyes inside, throw it away. It's just one of the, Ace Hardware does have the booties. You just, you do not want to reuse those gloves. If you caught any of the videos I've been working out in the shop when I was making the fire starters and stuff, when I took those gloves off, they go in the trash. I don't reuse them.
And dog patch, if it becomes airborne, everything carries it.
Yeah.
Then it'll come down to having full face shields, full Tyvek suits. If you go out, you're going to want to seal your home from the outside. But I honestly don't believe this will become an airborne pathogen due to the fact it is not being replicated and used by hostile entities at this point.
Yeah.
To say that it won't in the future,
Now, when you're talking about someone with a limited supply of the gloves, all right. If you're going to be using the glove, if you're worried about this situation, and you have just just like one box of gloves and stuff, you'd only be using them when your community has reached that possible level of a possible contamination within the community, and you need to go out to the grocery store, or you still have to go to work because the level's just been increased for your community. If your community becomes, quote, confirmed contaminated, and there's several cases out there, and there's more cases showing up every day, shelter in place, stay home, call off sick. That's what I would do. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's what I would do.
And Dog Patch, you honestly forgotten the movie Fog. Do you not remember what's in Fog? It's very scary. The stuff inside the fog is scary.
Yeah.
Watch the movie, it'll tell you.
Yeah, The Fog with Adrian Bardeau, Hal Holbrook. Yeah, I remember that movie. I loved it.
I can deal with zombies. Rotting corpses of pirates, no thanks. I can deal with zombies.
Okay. Ryder Dust, I've been through so many classes on it. You pinch the other one, because if you try to reach underneath, you might accidentally get part of the contaminated glove underneath. That's why they say you pinch and you peel off both pair.
And you make sure that you curl your fingers so it turns the glove inside out when you're doing it.
Yeah. Do not touch the mask, the paper mask and stuff, the outside of it, when you're removing it. If it's tied, you untie the top one first. Bottom one first. Untie the bottom one first, and then the top one, so you can lift it off and away from you. Someone else made a point on the other day when that was being talked about. Before you take it off, you take your last breath and exhale as you pull it away. That way, it's air's pushing out away from it, away from you.
With that being said, there are unfortunately some people who teach things differently than the standard.
Yeah.
So if you were taught a way that keeps you from getting contaminated, then follow that way, as long as what you're doing keeps you from getting contaminated.
Right.
If you're unsure on how to do it, then go do some research. I mean,
and the video that they put out here, let's pop it back up here. Right here. Face mask part 2, proper fit and removal of masks. That, he covers it very well for several different styles of masks. And on Wednesday on Dave's channel, he will be going over glove putting on and removal.
We're going to touch on all of it.
Yeah. All right, Dog Patch. Yeah, charge your battery up for tomorrow. And on that,
there's way too much misinformation out there. There's way too many channels, much bigger than either one of us combined, spewing stuff that's not true. They're saying people are dying in the streets. Well, every video that I've watched, and I actually went back and dug up and had to dig around, and I had to go to a couple of sites that I do not recommend you going to find videos again. Some of these videos, after rewatching them frame by frame by frame, most of those are faked. 2 of the videos that I watched where somebody supposedly just fell down in the street dying, you can see the guy turn his head after he hits the ground to kind of look back at the camera guy to see if he got a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another video that was put out today that was shown to me, and I had to correct the person that showed it to me, that it shows some guy beating the daylights out of a guy on the ground with a pipe. This guy in the video says, "Look at all the blood on the ground." Well, I did. I enlarged it. That's the nice thing about having a touch screen laptop. I can zoom in pretty damn close. And there's no blood on the ground. And if you watch the guy, he's hitting the guy on the head. No, he's not. He's hitting the ground. So it was another faked video. There are a bunch of fake videos out there causing fear.
Yeah.
Don't listen to everything you see in those videos. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't, bad things happening. I'm not saying people aren't dying over there. Obviously, there is. And I think the numbers are a lot higher because some of those people who are dying are dying due to heart complications, which are exacerbated by this virus, or lung complications. They're listing their original complication with their heart along as a cause of death, not the virus.
Yeah.
So they're not using proper numbers. I honestly believe the death toll on this currently is at least 2 times higher than what they're saying. I'm not trying to say it to be fearful. I'm just saying that's what the facts present themselves as.
Yeah.
The current number of infected people is probably about 9 times higher than what they're currently saying, due to the fact of the number of people that are currently on lockdown that are unable to get into a hospital, and therefore their numbers are not being currently correct.
Yeah. Just in time prepping. Will, are you still out there? If you are, what is your live stream tomorrow about? He's doing a live stream at 3:00 Mountain Time. I'm doing one tomorrow at 5:00 Mountain Time after Will gets done. Mine is on how much is enough as far as your preps and how much of what you should store as guidelines. So, and then Dave is on at 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern. For what are you going to be talking about tomorrow night, Dave?
I want to get away from all this talk. I want to have a fun chat where we can talk about anything and laugh and be merry. No, I didn't say get. I said just be married. I want a fun chat. Get away from all the negativity. Let's have something fun. If you want to talk about the Bible, that's cool. If you want to talk about cartoon characters getting anvils dropped on their heads and why we as older people are not as dysfunctional as these people who have taken that away from them, then we can talk about that too. I don't care. Let's just take one day off of talking about this stuff. Let's give it a couple of days. Let's see where it winds up.
All right. So I have a feeling Anthony's going to pop in on you and talk about the French bread he's doing.
Well, if they're not mad at me because I kept saying this isn't fear porn, and several of them decided to shortly thereafter leave the stream because, well, it is late, but
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see Will making contact. Our cabin in the woods. Good evening. How are you doing?
And Will is going to, what is your favorite fast food?
Ooh, fast foods. So at 3:00 Mountain, 5:00 Eastern, just in time prepping is doing what's your favorite fast food? Another good positive food thing to talk about. I'm going to be talking about just general preparedness as far as food again, what foods you should be storing, what toiletries, other stuff like that. What is enough? And I was just as a little guideline, I am not going to be talking about coronavirus tomorrow. Dave's not going to be talking about coronavirus tomorrow.
Stream, I'm not to be mean or offensive to anybody, but if it's brought up, I'm going to deliberately ignore it. I will rediscuss this stuff on Wednesday when we've had more time to actually have numbers come in and we get more information, whether it be positive or negative information. We need to get more information in. We're putting out a lot of information right now that I and Gil have collected over the last 3 days. And my brain is about to explode from all the junk and stuff I've had to watch and learn the last couple of days to make sure the information I give and the information that I've given to Gil is worth getting out there because it's honest and real. Yeah. You have no clue how much disinformation I've had to deal with in the last couple of days.
Oh, there was one video I did want to show here real quick here. Up here, Corvinus, cruise. Where is it?
Bye. Have a good night.
Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can get this one open here, and I will pause it here real quick.
Yes, okay. Steve. That's it.
All right, so here is a video here, so I can share it here. So boom. Ready for it? Here we go. So we got a cruise ship being held at an Italian port among concerns that 2 passengers might have it. There are 6,000 people aboard the ship.
Guess what? One of them is confirmed not carrying it.
So one has been confirmed not.
And yes, Grandma, it is. I live on a very fixed income. At the end of the month, I'm lucky if I got $100 to go out and play with anything. And it trying to get stuff like this, it really stretches, especially not having a car. I have to go through eBay or Amazon to try and get the few things that I think I can afford in order to get them here. So I definitely understand where you're coming from on that.
So yeah, this was I downloaded this video yesterday.
And it came out about 1 o'clock Eastern time today that they confirmed one was not carrying it, but the other one that was not confirmed yet.
Yeah, so the husband was not showing any signs. The wife was, so it's probably the husband that's confirmed not. I am guessing. Okay, and these numbers are low here. It's in the 200s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, our country's not the only country being affected by the possibility of it's because they were possibly let me go, I gotta drop this down here. There we go.
Close it. It's better to be safe than sorry. It's the same. You do preps now. It's better to be safe and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Exactly.
If you don't have it, you're SOL. If the grocery store runs out of food and you don't have food in your house, you're gonna go whining and crying and complaining to everybody. Hey, why didn't somebody tell me about buying food? Well, we are, in a sense. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying, here's the information that we have. The information we have says it is an issue. It's not fear porn. It's an issue that you need to pay attention to, because there is a small chance, that it could affect the area where you live. Tibor, Dog Pat, and myself, we all live here in Southern Ohio. And we have 2 cases here in Southern Ohio. That's on our doorstep in the grand scheme of things. It's knocking right on our door already. Okay, so yeah, we are
wrong one. Okay, like CR says, precautions. That's all this is about, is precautions. On Harbor Freight, the gloves are really decent gloves, and they are way cheaper than drugstores or even the big box stores. But like the ones I showed from Sam's Club, they're thicker than the ones at Harbor Freight. But if you don't, they are cheaper. The masks, I'm not sure what the thickness and the level of protection the masks at Harbor Freight are, if they have N95 masks or not. If you look on the mask, there's several things to look for on here. All right, first you want to look for is if it says N95.
Okay, and there's a little trick also to the N95 mask. A true N95 mask will have a relief valve on it.
See here, I'm trying to look at the one point where it says NIOSH on here, because it does say right here. See, so if I can get the right there. It says NIOSH, NIOSH, National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety and Health. If it has NIOSH on it, it means it's been certified as being a true N95, N99, or N100 mask. But you want to make sure it has the numbering on it here, N95, and you want to make sure that it says NIOSH. Alrighty. So yeah, and like I say, when I got those from Harbor Freight today, I grabbed 4 packages of them. They still had like 20 packages there on the shelf. But I'm just getting prepared just in case.
Yep. And see, I have to do that. I can't get to a Harbor Freight. The Lowe's where I'm at was sold out 2 days ago. Yeah. The minute stuff hit to where it's close to our home, our Lowe's sold out of everything but the cheapest paper masks.
Yeah.
They don't even have the respirators.
Yeah.
Because I used to work at that Lowe's. I know the management there, and they told me they have another truck coming maybe in a week. And if I want some, I better be there when the truck gets there. And I know when the truck gets there, because like I said, I used to work there. So I will have money at that point, and I will forego a pizza to make sure Charles and I have a mask, a respirator mask, actually, the half face.
The other thing too is, like I was showing you, and Kathy put the links up there on for the stuff I was showing you guys, like for Amazon. There's also eBay is a place to check as well for different masks. I know there's you can get the old some of the military grade masks from different countries and stuff. Israeli exports a lot of their stuff, but because it's good quality stuff.
And if you need to get small ones because you are a small person or you have kids, the Israeli masks are the best fitting for the kids. They make the best small size masks. Russia and the US do not make very small masks. Even their small is really not that small. So if you have kids, get them from the Israeli store.
Yeah. And you just go on eBay and look for it.
Yep. Face mask face mask militaria is under the, when you type in face mask, it'll bring up underneath, it'll say militaria. That's the one you want to go to. Don't use it all sections because you wind up with far more crap than you want to deal with.
And you can also check on the different, they'll tell you what the size threads are and stuff. So you can order replacement cartridges.
Standard is 40 millimeter for standard NATO. So if you want to get something that's NATO compliant, make sure you get 40 millimeter thread.
Yeah. All right, you're talking about, which plane are you talking about?
One of the ones that came in, not the one that went to Ontario, California.
Not the one that went down to Southern Cal, to the Air Force Base. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, those are this is the type of decision you have to make on your own. I'm not going to tell you to make that decision. I can tell you what I would do. Albany Mountain Homestead told you what they did, but you have to make that type of decision when you find out that type of information on your own.
She's talking about a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I remember hearing something about that during the Ebola. Someone on the plane with a nurse, and everybody was pissed off no end, including the airline executives when they found out that they let them on the plane to begin with.
Yep. And seeing that, and that comes back down to the U.S. has learned from that experience that we need to quarantine people faster. Does that mean the plane that's in Ontario, California is a safe one? No. Does that mean the 5 million people who left China before this became a worldwide known thing, does that mean they're all safe? No, it doesn't. But does that mean I'm telling you, oh gosh, you better be scared because 5 million people left China? No, 5 million people left China. We don't know where they're all at.
Some went back. Like the ones from Germany went back.
So that's just information you need to know. Okay, there is a possibility, that somebody from there might be near where you're at. Like I've already stated, and Tibor said it, Dog Patch has said it. I can go get the video from Channel 9 WCPO, which is my local TV station, stating that there's two literally right around the corner from me. Okay, I'm not saying it to scare the hell out of you. I'm telling you that there is a possibility. Make sure you've got the information in your head that we've provided. And if you doubt what we said, then please, by all means, go do some research. And if you find something that disputes what we say, bring it to our attention so we can either A, refute it with logical information, or B, come back up here and say, guess what, guys? The information I had was wrong. So-and-so sent me to somewhere else and I found it. And guess what? They're right. I was wrong. And we did give you some bad information. Here's what we need to correct. Okay. At least I'm that way. I'm pretty sure Gil's that way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you bad information. But as with everything, there's always a chance that the information we're gleaning is off.
Yeah. In fact, some of the information I know is off as far as some of the numbers, but they're the best numbers we have. And that's why I was saying on the numbers there, the one doctor I was on his YouTube channel listening to him, he said should be. He was looking at those exact same numbers, and he goes, "Yeah, I would say it's about 3 times. The death rate is about 3 times what it's showing."
Agreed. And I'm also going to say it once again: the numbers we're getting. All right, Will, have a good night. The numbers are at least 14 days behind, like I stated, and I have seen several documents, and the mainstream news is now actually starting to admit that the first case was at the end of November or the 1st of December, depending on which one you listen to, not at the end of December like China said. So right there, that's 31 days minimum that their tracking of information is wrong. I'm going to lean a little bit to, benefit of the doubt and say it's actually only 14 days off. Given if it's only 14 days off, the numbers, and do you still have the map up, Gil, or you want me to pull it up or what?
But this map?
Yes. If you look at this map and you look how it's starting to, the bottom 2 lines, if you look down here at the bottom and you see the nice yellow line at the very bottom, that's numbers of people across the world. And that top orange line that's starting to climb really steeply, that is at least 14 days behind. By the numbers that I've gotten from many doctors, from all the searching I've done, that number should be a lot higher, because there is 34 provinces, 30 or 34 provinces. I can't remember right now because I got too much running through my brain. But there's either 30 or 34 provinces in China right now that are all on lockdown due to this. And no, they're not all listed.
Yeah. I'm just going up here. All right. So I'm starting. All right. Mainland China, different provinces, mainland China. Let me keep going up. Mainland China, all those different provinces.
Okay. 200 million people is the size of their army. Okay. This to give you an idea. They have an army of 200 million. Okay. That's not counting women, children, grandparents, and all that stuff. So let's just add 2 to that number to cover, grandparents or whatever. So that's 400 million people in China currently on lockdown, being shunned by the entire rest of the world. You mean to tell me that in all of China, there's only 11,000 cases of it? That doesn't stand reason. It doesn't bear the numbers. Okay. That's, I can't explain it any better than that, other than to say, by next Wednesday, I expect to see that 11,000 closer to 80,000.
Yeah. I do have one video with a nurse. It was pulled.
Yeah, it's the one I sent to you.
Got
one with no music on it.
Yeah, he pulled the music off the video because someone had took in and was playing some music to make it sound all cool and stuff. All right, we got someone trying to explain data to us, even though she's speaking in Chinese. So we're going to put music over there, and you can just read the words. But yeah, so but basically, she said, and she's she knew of 90,000.
And mind you, that video was put out 2 weeks ago. And as much as it pains me to say it, that 259 number that's in white, I expect to see that jump into the thousands before this is over with. I'm not scare anybody. I'm just saying this is what the numbers bear out according to past viruses and the way they've mutated and grown compared to the initial start of this one. I'm not saying that this one's going to peter out and be less or worse than any of the other ones. I'm just going by initial week-to-week data and the way this one has progressed during the few weeks it has.
Right.
So, and considering it's actually since December and now we're almost through January, that's almost 2 full months. The numbers we're seeing are about a month, maybe a month and a week's worth of numbers. Okay. Just remember, there's over, I don't even know what the population, I'll look that up. Population of China.
Well, you're looking that up. I'm going to pop this video up here. So this is the nurse. This is from China, and they put a translation on here. I don't know if everybody can see this translation because it may be kind of small. If you're watching this on a phone or a tablet, you You have to try to zoom in on the bottom part of it here, but come on, let's go start. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. There we go.
And now while you're reading that, I'll make a statement. I know somebody who does body language, and they said by the way her body is moving and the way her eyes and the area that you can see around her nose, they say that she is honest and truthful about what she's saying, or at least she believes she's honest and truthful. Remember this as a side fact, that if a person is a habitual liar, meaning they could do it without changing their face and their emotions, you can fool a lie detector test and you can fool somebody who does body language. Their body will not change even when they lie. So take that with a grain of salt. She believes what she's saying is the truth. Okay. Tibor, they were putting people on Christmas Island before they announced the fact that they were able to clone the virus in a petri dish. Matter of fact, the fact that they were putting these people on Christmas Island, which is a prison, irritated a lot of people in Australia as well as a few other nations. All right, now she's just going to start asking for donations. So if you want to share my page, I mean.
Okay. All right, and put this up here.
Okay, there's China's current population. Minus 200 million for military, still leaves you over 1 billion people currently in lockdown. 97% of which have no access to a hospital, which is why they're building 3,100 new beds.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go into the rumors surrounding those right now because there's no guarantee that it's actuality, but that leaves over 1 billion people possibly dealing with somebody near them that is infected with the virus. All reports state that if this virus even has an R naught of 2, the numbers should be double what they currently are.
Yeah.
Okay, and the R naught is the infectability of this first person infecting another people or two.
And that was that one picture I showed you with the had the different levels here. That's this one right here. So that would be this level right here is the R naught. This means R naught of 2. And it's been, it's 1st of December and we're into January. So we're looking at, 60 days plus. So yeah. And these numbers here in the black is each level. The red is the total of 20 levels, 20 cycles. Now it's not each cycle is not a day. The cycle could be 4 days. A cycle could be 3 days. Or 5 days. We're not sure what the cycles are. And it could be faster with some people and slower with others.
And Albany, I had not heard that yet, but that wouldn't surprise me one bit if there was a snowflake or two in there riling up the people, like the person who tried to escape, who is now in forced lockdown. And they'll probably be kept in quarantine a lot longer than they should be. And then they'll get shipped off to jail for jeopardizing the health and safety of others, which is exactly what they'll do. they will charge them with, oh God, I can't think of the proper terminology used out there in California, but basically it's for jeopardizing the safety and health of other people.
Yeah, 5150, a danger to themselves or others.
No, I feel bad for all those people. As a matter of fact, I pray for them, you know. That's all we can do, is we can pray that God relinquishes his grip on this judgment. Because virus or pandemics, epidemics, you know, I'm not going to go any further with that. I'll just say this. It's biblical what's going on. Whether this is a final judgment or not, I don't believe it's a final judgment. But you know what? China has been for so long killing Christians, and even they're doing it to Muslims now. So it's not just the Christian faith, it's the Muslims as well. They're doing it to Muslims. They're putting them in concentration camps. So you know what? This may be a big judgment from God saying, look, change your ways or else. You know, and I agree, Josh. Welcome. But that's just my personal opinion, and it's just one that my pastor also shares. And it's not because he put out the video that I put on my channel that I say that. I believe it was before he put out the video, and we didn't talk. But let me give you a little snippet of information that I've learned over the many years of trying to live by God's word. And I fail from time to time. I'm not perfect. But I'll say this. I'm sorry for Gil for hijacking your channel here. If it's the Spirit of God telling somebody what's going on, he doesn't just tell it to one person. If you read the Bible, he says it makes it known to all his people. So when you get more than one pastor or more than one person in a congregation or many congregations or many churches all saying the same thing, don't communicate with each other, then you have to understand that it's the Holy Spirit saying, look, here, wake up. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And if my pastor and me are not the only ones that are saying that viruses like this are a judgment, because it is biblical, that there are things that need to be changed. You know, I think it was Gil earlier today that said, wasn't it you that was talking about Trump being, no, I'm sorry, that was over on Virginia Prepper's channel.
Okay.
But, you know, on Virginia Prepper, and it's a sentiment that I shared back when it happened. Trump was given to the U.S. as our leader to stay us from judgment. I made that comment a couple of years ago when he was elected, and I made it again here recently on a video I made, and again it's being reiterated. When we turn our backs on God, just like the people of Israel, and as a Christian, you are grafted into the house of God. You are grafted. I'll learn. Grafted into the house of Israel as a wild olive branch into a native olive branch. If you turn your back on him, he will punish you. It's a judgment. He's done it to Israel many times in the past. And the final judgment of this earth is coming. Okay. Is this one of the last plagues? No, I do not believe it is. I believe this is a judgment like he used to do to Israel. I'm going to punish you a little bit and see if you turn back to me. But if you don't, a more worse and harsher judgment shall follow.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll shut up now.
Okay.
I get off my soapbox of preaching. Sorry.
All right. Looking here. Just catching up on the chat here, making sure I'm stay up on it. Yeah. Yeah. So, whoa, geez, we're coming up on 3 hours, guys. We've been having a lot of information being given out here. So, I see a lot of information passing back and forth on the side chat about how virus cells work, how they take over the host. You know, the virus takes over a host cell and works it to death, according to Tibor. I have no way to dispute that. It sounds logical to me. You know, basically ignores the needs of the host cell and just works it to death. You know, sounds logical. I almost made a political statement there.
Now, you're as bad as me in the Bible.
about the middle class being worked to death by a certain political party to give freebies to everybody else. But anyways,
Definition of a virus.
what'd you call that?
Oops, I'm sorry, folks. I didn't mean to put my political belief out on the plank for y'all to.
Did you just say the Democratic virus?
Yes, I did say that. You know, and I'm afraid to say it because it's your channel that goes down and not mine. I'm kidding.
Remember, you're supposed to say the Democratic virus, because all Democrats are not bad. Some Democrats are very good, but they just have wound up electing some insane. Anyways, we're going to save that for a different day.
Yeah.
We've gone down. We've given out some really hard information here, and we need to lift things back up. So, everybody, there, I just flashy thingied you, and you're feeling better now. The information you heard is empowering you, and you're feeling better. And my name is Agent G, and my partner's name is Agent D. Okay, so with that, so just to remind you, anyone that came in late here didn't know about it. We're going to start with Eastern Standard Time. So just in time prepping tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern. My channel, Camp Patton Family Compound, at 7 o'clock Eastern. Southern Ohio prepping at 9:30 Eastern.
CSER.
And so just in time prepping is going to be talking about your favorite fast foods, so a little bit lighter there. Southern Ohio prepping wants to talk about anything happy at all. Come on and just be happy. I'm going to be talking about what is enough, as far as do you have enough? What sort of supplies are enough, and everything. And hang on a second, it is.
Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. CR. Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. Tibor, you are very handsome again. Hey, so flashy things for your self-outlook are due at the end of every live stream. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the end broadcast button. We got about 5 seconds now before it actually